my daddy likes robots.
Hello everyone, this is Cybertronianbeast, and let's talk Transformers. Okay, here we are with figure number 2 from the first wave of Voyagers from the new Transformers 4 movie. This is Grimlock, and big change from what we're used to with Grimlock, obviously. Whole new movie design, which is what we've come to expect from the Bay movies. I mean, let's just look at the packaging here first. Obviously, we get the really big image of Grimlock here on the front, the big window showing the figure inside, Transformers along the side, the movie logo right there, Grimlock. No other languages there. Grimlock is universally spelt the same way, I guess. On the side here, confirmation, it is in fact Voyager class series. He's figure number 2, so that means that the Evasion Mode Optimus Prime that we looked at first was number 1. And there we go with Grimlock in robot mode and T-Rex mode. And we've got a bio here. So take a look there. Alright. So we've got all of this cool stuff, but we don't really care about the box, really, do we? No. Let's get this sucker open, shall we? Okay, so here is Grimlock out of the box, and he looks, at first glance, he looks really badass. Again, with the instructions, like I pointed out with the Optimus Prime, you get the instructions, and step 1 is to take him from Dinosaur mode or T-Rex mode. Which he doesn't come in that mode. So, as I pointed out with the Optimus Prime, you gotta start at the back and go forward, which, I mean, it's a pretty easy transformation with Grimlock especially, so you probably don't need the instructions, but I just find it weird. So I'm assuming that there's going to be another packaging option where he comes in Dinosaur mode first. So, yeah, look out for that. It's coming. Anyway, first things first, his weapon. This is an interesting weapon. I think, yeah, he can't hold it on the actual shaft of the weapon. He has this little handle here where he has to hold it, which is kind of lame. And then he's got the I guess the head of the weapon, this hammer bit, is completely open, which there is a use for that in Dino mode, but it looks stupid, so we'll take a look at that in a second. But I mean, if you put it in his hand, let's bring his arm up, and there you go. He's holding his weapon. Okay. There is a way to store the weapon outside of... Oh yeah, and the head of the hammer comes off. So, I mean, I call it a hammer. It's probably a staff of some kind. Let's see if they have an actual name for it on the box here. Doesn't look like it. No, it doesn't look like they have a name for it. There's probably a name for it, though. So, yeah, there's this little tab hole right there. So you can take his hammer and just kind of plug it right in there. It's not overly easy. So, but yeah, you can get it in there. Just like that. And you can have storage for this weapon, which is lame, on the back of the head. Or on the back of the body there. Anyway, the weapon is dumb. Yeah. Let's go on. I take a look at this figure and I see 3 colors, right? I got silver, which can be two-tone. You've got this silvery silver down here, and then you've got grayish silver here. You've got the gold, or the bronze, and then you've got black. And I guess if you really want to get technical, there's red right there for the Autobot logo. Very tiny, but yeah. There are not a lot of paint apps on this guy, and I'm really upset about that. This is Voyager class. I figured there would be a lot more, effort put into this, but there really isn't. Let's see here. So the legs, this area here, that's a paint app. Yeah, this gray here, this is the solid color here. So this here on his leg, that's a paint app. All of this gold or whatever you want to call it, bronze, that's all the plastic color. The black, that's the plastic color. So there's no paint. These toes here on his arms or for Dino mode, that's a paint app. So that's actually a really nice paint app because it's nice and shiny and stuff. And then you get to his face, and there's some nice detailing on the face, but again, it's just silver. So they've just gone over it with silver. And then there's a couple more paint apps on the face as well, but it's just over the gray plastic. So, I mean, not much is done there. I'm really kind of disappointed that there's not more colors on these guys. Again, the Optimus Prime had very little paint apps as well, but Prime generally doesn't have a lot of paint either. He's red and blue and gray or silver. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed about this. Secondly, I find he's very chunky. There's not a lot of fine tuning when it comes to this guy. There's like this section here is the foot for the T-Rex mode, and that's all one humongous section. Now don't get me wrong, it works very well, but it's there's not anything that can be done once you've transformed it. It's very tiny, it's very cumbersome, but it works pretty well as a standalone piece. But it would have been nice if there were more articulated bits in there. So yeah, I've just found it very chunky as a bot. Just looking at it here. Anyway, let's get into the articulation because that's really where the figure kind of lets me down again. So with the Evasion Mode Optimus Prime, it had ankle tilts, and it had some really good ones. This does not, and it doesn't really have much in the way of anything here for feet. I mean, that's his foot transformed for Dinosaur mode, and now it's robot mode. Not really inventive. So, yeah, I'm not really impressed with that. He does, however, have this rivet in the back of his leg here, and that is enabling his legs to do like that kind of a motion, and that can be used really nicely if you're really subtle with it. But other than that, like, you're not going to go drastic like that, and really I don't think you're able to use it at all in Dinosaur mode. So it's got that, which you can only use a little bit. As far as his knee joint goes, you're going to get 90 degrees or just under 90 degrees. He does have a high thigh swivel, so you can get that going on. His knee is a dual pin, so you get a lot of movement in there. Alright, so he does have no waist swivel, nothing. So that's unfortunate. On to his arms. His arms, they are pretty good. He's got a really big double pin joint in here, so you're going to get all kinds of movement in there. Basically the same amount of movement that you'd get if it were a ball joint, but that's it. It's not, so it's a lot stronger than a ball joint. It's not going to pop off on you. You're going to get a bicep swivel right in there. It's quite tight, actually. You got an elbow joint in there, nice elbow joint, and you have a wrist swivel, so that's good too. All right. And his head moves back and forth a little bit. Not the greatest amount of movement, although it is on on a bar, so you can actually bring it forward so he can look down at his really crummy feet. Why Grimlock have pointy shoes? Yeah. So, yeah, on his back, there is some serious kibble going on. So, you've got this bit here. This is part of the back for the dinosaur mode. And then, obviously, you've got the underbite for his T-Rex face. And yeah, that is part of a gimmick that we will show you later, or I will show you later. And you can't really do anything else with that. Yeah. And I guess the piece to resistance that really kind of saves it for me, that would make it a decent display piece, is that he does, just by looking at him, he does look pretty badass with these, you know, split dinosaur head shoulder pads here. He looks like a really medieval football player, and that's kind of cool. So essentially I could stand him up in the back of a shelf and surround him with a whole bunch of other guys, and yeah, not have to worry about him ever again. But, you know, I'd like to have a bit of a bit more play value out of this guy for the $30. Now, while I've got him still in robot mode here, I figured I'd compare him to some other figures. Here he is with the aforementioned Evasion Mode Prime. So you can see how much they stack up. They are essentially the same size. And, I mean, Grimlock is definitely wider with his humongous arms going on here. Let's bring in a Generations Voyager. We've got Whirl, who is actually a little smaller. So that's interesting. But Whirl's definitely a better figure, that's for sure. And then my favorite Grimlock, kind of. I mean, Masterpiece is better, but this is who I think is the best Grimlock, G1, and is definitely smaller. But yeah. But you can't proceed in life without some change, and that's where you got to go with that. Is this the way that Grimlock is going to look from now on? Probably. Am I going to like it? Probably not. But unfortunately, I don't get a say. Now, transformation for this guy is pretty easy. Let's get into that here. You essentially, you start on the back here by pulling down this, and you've got to actually thread this back piece through the dinosaur heads. So you just got to bring it through like that, because you got to now combine the dinosaur head halves, and you can't do that with this piece in the middle. So you do that there, pinch the dinosaur heads together, and while you're working on that, you can actually bring these little horns down. I like to do that just to give it a little bit of better feel. And then you can bring the bottom half of the jaw and the top half of the jaw together, and they don't really stay together really well, but that's how they go. So that's done. Now, what you want to do is bring the back, or this chest piece up, and that's going to just kind of collide with the front of the head here. And you're going to leave this piece here. In fact, this back piece is your last piece that you're going to transform in. So you don't have to worry about that right now. What you can do now is you can swing these legs up like this. Just like that. And we can bring down the Grimlock feet like that. Straighten them out like that. And there is a post or a peg right here, if you can see it. That's going to peg into that there, just like that. Just like that. Really easy, right? Yeah. So we've got that now, and it doesn't stay. Unfortunately, that's really the only part of the transformation that really does not want to stay together. And, you know, you can't really do anything about that. So anyway, you're going to bring this entire section down here. You've got 2 pegs on these knees here, 1, 2, and there's actually ports underneath here, 1, 2. And when you bring them down, come on. Actually, let's do this first. You've got these hip pieces here, and they're on a double hinge kind of thing here. So you're going to bring them down and lock them in like that. So you bring them in, and you bring them down like that. Man, I wish these leg pieces would stay. Sure is a pain in the butt. Alright, so you're bringing this down like that. Let's just hold it together here. In fact, we do have a way to holding it together. Let's use this. Maybe they did that. Let's pop this off, because this is what this is for. You're going to bring it in, and there are 2 little marks here. You're going to slide them over top of this tab. Those tabs. Like that. And it was made to do this. Interestingly enough, it's like they knew that this was going to be a problem. So there you go. And in fact, it's supposed to be like this, but that's going to get in the way. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now. So he's got these 2 tabs, or these 2 ports right here, and they're going to go over the top of these 2 knee tabs. So we're going to slide this thing down, and we're going to pop it over top of these. Just like that. So we've got that like that. All right. Great. Now, what we can do is we can work on these dinosaur legs. And we're going to bring these down like this. And essentially, we just want to spin these around, because we've got this peg hole right here, and there's a little peg right on these tips of these legs here, and that's just going to snap right into there. And you can flip out the heel now too, and obviously orientate it so it, you know, faces the right way. Same on the other side. Swing around, snap it in, orientate, and you can situate it, you know, by just putting it on the ground and get it sitting the right way. You can also flip out those arms, those little dinosaur arms, making sure they're the right way. And we're left with one last thing, is to flip down that little back piece. And there are 2 tabs, 1, 2 right here. And there are 2 ports just behind the head here. Just like that. And you can snap it in just like that. Alright. Make sure everything's still in its place. And we can attach the back piece of the tail again. And there it is. Your ridiculously weird looking Tyrannosaurus Rex Dinobot guy. So weird. I can tell you, I have seen transformations where they've put the head facing the other way. I mean, we can try that. And I can show you. I don't think it matters. But we can definitely take a look and see. Just looks different, a little differently, but I don't think it matters. So no, it doesn't matter. Whichever way you want to do it is completely fine. Obviously, if you do it the way that I just did it, the fin on top of the head faces the way, like the grain of the dinosaur. So yeah, if you want to do it that way, it's fine. And yeah, so this is him. This is Grimlock in dinosaur mode, and it's ridiculous. This tail piece here is the dumbest thing I've ever seen on a Transformer, I think. That might be going a little bit far, but whatever. If you take it off, it's a little bit better because now he's just like stubby Rex. Yeah. Now, the gimmick that I was talking about is here on the face. You've got this little button right here, which you can put your finger on and just kind of, you're snapping the jaw. Arr, 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 arr. He can hold his own weapon. Just like that. And yeah, so anyway, that's what that's for. It's not really the greatest thing. You know, it's a gimmick. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's no big deal. But yeah, that's it there. It's a gimmick. The one thing I can say that I don't really like about the alt mode here, the bottom, but recent Grimlocks have had trouble with the bellies. So you've got this chest piece here that really doesn't want to come together fully, and it's really not solid at all. It just kind of hangs there. So yeah. As far as the first wave of Transformers 4 Voyager class figures go, I'm 50% for them. That's more than what I was gonna say before I ever handled them. That's for sure. Evasion Mode Optimus Prime. That's a definite get. I highly recommend getting that one. Grimlock, on the other hand, he's an avoidable, I think. Wait until maybe a leader class or something like that. Something a little better comes out and take a look at that. But Evasion Mode Optimus Prime is pretty cool, especially that alt mode. Take a look at the video review if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, Grimlock, not my favorite. Anyway, if you have any questions about Voyager class Grimlock from Transformers 4, let me know. Just leave a question or comment in my YouTube thread. If you want to follow me on Twitter, please do, at Cybertronianbeast. You can check out my Facebook page. Just search Cybertronianbeast on Facebook. Click like, and all my videos and everything will come to you. And please check out the podcast that I'm on. Me and 3 other awesome Transformers fans got together, and we put together a podcast every week. And yeah, it's been fun. You can find it at www.transmissionspodcast.com. You can also find it on iTunes and on Stitcher. So give it a listen, check it out. Let us know what you think. We've been having a lot of success lately with the IDW creators of the comics. So yeah, it's been going well. So yeah, definitely give it a listen. And please subscribe to my channel. I've been lucky enough to get access to these new figures from Transformers 4, and I definitely dive into some old figures as well. So take a look at the channel. I try to hit third party stuff. I try to hit old stuff. I got some G1s that I look at too. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Cybertronianbeast, and I'll talk to you later.